So the three of us went in with the person whose shift it was to pray. And with some anxiety, I sat down in the chair and closed my eyes and went into a prayerful space. And right away, the first thought that goes through my mind is, that is really odd. I'm not a short person, and I'm not used to sitting in chairs where my feet don't touch the floor. And I opened my eyes and I looked down, and my feet were touching the floor. The energy in that space was buoyant with love. Indescribable love. And so I closed my eyes again and just entered into a meditative place. And this is the vision that unfolded for me. In my mind's eye, as far as I could see, was a vast field of what looked like floating gauze. Only it wasn't, cotton filaments like gauze that we bandage wounds in, which is interesting that this is the vision that came to me, bandaging wounds. But, so this huge floating is vast in the universe, this floating gauze, only instead of cotton connecting points, they were filaments of light. And every place that a filament of light touched another filament of light, there was a meaningful connection. And in those meaningful connections, as there is in gauze, when those filaments come together, those gold or those cotton strands, when these filaments of light, these meaningful connections come together, they create a window, an opening, through which vast wisdom of the universe can come through. New energies can come in. New possibilities that before we cannot see, we can't imagine. It's like a thin place, the Celtic people call it. A doorway between the worlds opens when we offer ourselves to these connection places. And those were unfolding as far as the eye could see. So I was just with that. What I believe was the way the universe revealed to me the oneness, the place where we're all connected, the place where possibility lives, the place beyond suffering, the place of transformation of suffering. And that's what this chapel was and is. And it's not just that chapel. There are places everywhere in the world that can bring a buoyancy, a higher energy of transformation to suffering. I think we're those chapels. So how do we get ourselves there? To that beautiful place of such higher love that it's beyond heart opening, really. How do we bring a buoyancy? And we do, and we can. I think of so many of our spiritual leaders who have walked with suffering, negativity, people in what they define as devastation, and have walked in that, and with that, with hope, and that kind of transformative energy. Certainly Mother Teresa, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, so many. Gandhi, Thich Nhat Hanh, the Dalai Lama, and many less famous people. And some of what they say helps us to know that it is not just the external universe and the global picture the universal story we need to be concerned about. It is both that and our own personal universal story. Qigong masters say, I am in the universe, and the universe is in me. You know, we've all heard Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Thich Nhat Hanh speaks of, do you want peace? Be peace. So, when we come to that place, which we can so easily do, the human part of us, to that place of suffering, and become overwhelmed with global issues and feel powerless and insignificant, it often helps, I think, to remember that for transformation to occur out there, it might just begin here with me. What is quaking in me? What is toxic in me? What feels devastating in me? What is negative in me? And how can I bring a sense of buoyancy and peace to that? There are many ways that I can enter that. Many ways that inside me I can create sort of that, my silent unity chapel, that place of higher energy to transform. Energy work, meditation, prayer, walking in nature, reading people who inspire me, sacred texts, and not just in the traditional sense, but sacred texts like current poets and authors. How do I come home to myself? I think that's where the inner transformation begins. And then I don't think that absolves me of acting in a global way. But I think it's from that place that I can choose. How do I act to impact the larger system? In what ways am I called from that higher place in me, from my inner chapel, to give my energy, my time, my money, my support, my positivity, my hope? Are we people who take things apart? Or are we people that bring things together? And I want to be one who brings things together, who makes those connections of light with the light in me, to the light in others, to co-create this place of transformation, to bring a sense of buoyancy